I never imagined betrayal would taste as bitter as the whiskey I swirled in my glass that night. The dimly lit back room of our family's bar was cloaked in secrets, the kind that made grown men tremble. My name is Marco Santino, and for 15 years I was the underboss of the most feared crime family in New York. Power was intoxicating, a drug you couldn't get enough of until it turned on you. It was 2 a.m. when the call came. "Marco, there's been a leak," Dom's gravelly voice uttered. Dom, our boss, was as ruthless as he was paranoid. Every shadow held a threat. I knew what needed to be done. Find the rat, eliminate it. But this time, the rat was me. The FBI had me cornered months ago. They'd caught wind of my side dealings, the ones meant to secure a future for my wife and daughter, a future far from blood and bullets. Confessing was like ripping open old wounds. The feds' deal was simple: testify or see my family dragged into the mess I'd created. The nights were sleepless, haunted by whispers of betrayal, both past and impending. The trial date was nearing when Dom called for a meeting. If he suspected for a second that I was the snitch, well, let's just say I'd end up swimming with the fishes before I left the bar that night. I walked into Mario's, our bar, where business was always as usual. I nodded at Bruno, the bouncer, and moved past the din of clinking glasses and murmuring patrons, straight to the booth where Dom sat like a king surveying his territory. "Marco, sit," he said, his eyes as cold as the first winter frost. My hands felt clammy as I took my place across from him. "I'm hearing things, Marco," Dom began, leaning forward, eyes narrowing. "Things about you talking to people you shouldn't." I forced a smile, playing the role I'd perfected for years. "Dom, you know I'm loyal. Whoever's talking is just trying to stir the pot." He leaned back, drumming his fingers on the table. "I hope so, for your sake. You know what happens to traitors." His threat lingered like cigar smoke, heavy and suffocating. I nodded, hiding the tremor in my hand by tightening my grip on the shot of bourbon. "I know, Dom. You've got nothing to worry about." As I stepped back into the night, the streets felt different, colder, more dangerous. I wasn't just an underboss anymore. I was a snitch, a dead man walking. Each step was weighed down with the memories of faces long gone, lives I'd cut short. But there was one thing left to do before disappearing forever. I had to make sure they were safe, my wife, my daughter. In the end, everything I'd done was for them. Swallowed by the shadows, I made my choice. I'd play my final hand, not as Marco Santino the underboss, but as Marco Santino the father. I just hoped the house wouldn't win this time. And with that, my story was no longer mine. It belonged to the annals of whispers and gunfire, where every tale ended with silence, or if you were lucky, a fresh start. This message is for those who want to be down. Like and subscribe for more.